Hello again, and welcome back to Illegally Cited. This is Jesse, aka BGFH, and I am back for another assistive technology spotlight video. And this time I want to show you guys a little something that I just learned about yesterday as I'm recording this video. And I want to show you guys a little free downloadable program that you can use in Windows 7, 8, or 10. Now, there are a couple of different versions. There's a version you can download from a website, and there is actually a Windows 10 Store version. We are looking at a free little program called Herbi HocusFocus. Yeah, Herbi, H-E-R-B-I, HocusFocus, H-O-C-U-S. F-O-C-U-S. So, yeah, interesting little name there. Nice little magical title we got going here. This is kind of a neat little program that can kind of work in conjunction with something like Windows Magnifier or GlassBrick or something free. So let's say that you don't have a lot of money and maybe you don't need a lot of the extra features, but maybe you want a little bit of something, a little bit of help. And you don't really maybe necessarily want to use full ZoomText or something like that. And I've been using this a little bit off and on with Windows Magnifier so far, and it's worked pretty well. What this program does, you download it and install it either through the store or through, you just download the executable from the website and run it on Windows 7, 8, or 10. And it adds some low vision like cursor, like keyboard tracking and cursor tracking visuals to your screen. So I'm going to use Windows Magnifier, and we'll just kind of cruise through the window here. I have it up and running because I installed it, and I'm running the Windows 10 Store app version. And so yeah, Herbi HocusFocus. So here's what we do. We got quite a few different check options that we can play with here. So the one side we have highlight keyboard focus. So you remember if you use like Magic or ZoomText in the past, and as you were tabbing through or arrowing through something, and you would have like a nice rectangle around the control, so you would know. Actually, even Narrator does this. If you use Windows Magnifier in combination with Narrator, it'll do that kind of a combination. So this adds that functionality if you want to use, let's say, NVDA and Magnifier, or just use Magnifier and still want to have a little bit of visual tracking if you are happening to use your keyboard for some of it. Maybe you're tabbing through a web form or something. So yeah, so you see the current thing that's in focus right now. You see this color button. We've got a nice little rectangle around it because that's the last thing I clicked on in this window. So we can change the color of the keyboard highlight. Let's see, we have keyboard focus, okay, highlight. We can change, let's say that we want that to be blue. And we'll go OK. Voila! Now we have a blue highlight. There we go. Now we can also change the thickness, the margin, so it's kind of like the spacing around whatever it is you're doing. So maybe if I don't want it quite so chunky, I can say, okay, yeah, let's do 2. Yeah, that's reasonable. And we'll leave that the way it is. Style, solid. Let's see what other options we have. Okay, solid, dot, or dash. So let's say dash for the heck of it. Okay, sure. I guess I would probably prefer solid, but actually that kind of has a neat little, almost like an artistic look to it. But okay, so we'll go back to solid. Boom, we got that. So that's half of this program. Now you have on the right-hand side, we can also track a few other things. So now, keep in mind this isn't going to work everywhere, but in some of your common applications, it will. it'll also have, if you're familiar with ZoomText, and you remember how you can, you can change the mouse pointer settings, so you can make, a lot of people like the giant green one, but you can also change the cursor enhancements. You can turn those on and off and customize those in ZoomText. Well, here you can kind of do a similar thing. So like a lot of people like to have those little wedges, you know, above and below the text in a document. So we can do that here. And actually we can customize, do we want it both, or do we want it maybe just on the bottom? Maybe they don't want the whole thing to stand out. Maybe they just want the little wedge on the bottom or the top. So you can check those separately. Draw line below text. So as you're writing, you can have lines. That is not checked by default, and I think that would actually be rather distracting. But I could see if you were doing something maybe that was in columns, or you maybe were doing something with like trying to align something, that might be a setting that you may want to temporarily check. So we have the wedges here. We can highlight above text cursor and below text cursor. And just like the other thing, we can customize everything. So text cursor highlight. Again, we can change the color. It was blue by default, and we're going to change that. Actually, you know what? We're going to keep it the way it is right now, and then I'm going to turn like the color filters on in Windows, and we're going to play with it a little more. So we have the size, the margin, transparency, and on-off hotkey. Ooh, that's cool. You can turn that on and off. That's kind of neat. Oh, okay. So I can use... I'm going to leave it off just because I don't want it interfering with my any of my other software that I've got running in the background. So we're going to leave that alone for now. But that's cool that you can turn that off. So if let's say I want to go into, I'm going to hit the Windows key. Oh, so like I said, it doesn't work everywhere, but I'm going to say Notepad. And now that I'm in Notepad, boy howdy, look at those things. That's something else. You can definitely find out where your cursor is. So it's pretty easy to tell where we are. I'm just typing some more stuff. Okay, and now if I want to, let's say, I want to see there, I can put it right in the middle of the word. You can kind of see right where it is. Now, I think that those, I might want to customize that a little bit. That's a little bit too extreme for me compared to what ZoomText is. So I think we're going to play with that a little bit. Let's say size. Let's pop her down to, we're at 30. Let's say 15. Let's half it. Okay, that's not so bad. That's not too bad. I think, I wonder if I want to make that a little bit closer, because if I had, let me do this. This is another sentence. I want to see how the spacing affects the cursor. All right, so now we're going to click, and let's say we click in here, in the middle of this word here, and we're in the middle of the word sentence. So yeah, I mean, it's not too bad, but I wonder, let me try something here. Let me change the margin. We're at 6. I'm thinking maybe about a 4. Let's try a 4. That's still, I'm not quite sure what that did. Let's crank her down more, because I just want to see. Let's go 2. I don't know. I was wondering if it doesn't seem like it's maybe getting, because I thought it would get like a little bit closer, you know, vertically to the text, because we got some light space between. Well, maybe it did. I guess let me crank it back up to 4 again. We'll go back to 4. Yeah, I guess it might have. Okay, so let me just drop it down to 1 and see what happens. 1. Okay, yeah, that is okay. Okay, it's just really subtle. Yeah, I would say either, you know what, I'm thinking a 2. I'm thinking a 2. 2, maybe 3. Just my personal preference. I'm thinking, let's try a 2. That's not too bad. Let's try a 3. Let's just see. So we'll put it at a 3. Notepad, here we go. You know what? I like 3. I like 3. Yeah, I think, because the other one was almost comically big by default. But now, let's say I'm going to turn on my new feature of Windows 7 or Windows 10 in this past year. Windows Control-C to turn on my contrast. Oh, interesting. It's actually smart enough. I did not know that was going to happen. I thought it was going to stay blue, and so I was going to try to switch it to yellow. So now what happened? Oh, so what the heck color filter do I have on? Must I have grayscale? Let me see something. Color filter. Okay, color filters are on. Oh yeah, I do. Okay, so let's say that I want just inverted. Recommended. I'll say oh boy, reverse color. Let's see here. Where? Okay. So actually, without even doing anything, it did actually make it a yellow, because the blue, it inverts everything, so it actually did smartly in this case. So actually this is in a way a little bit better than ZoomText, because it kind of does keep the contrast in mind, whether that's intentional or not. Although we have a problem. Now we just lost our cursor enhancements, guys. What happened to it? Did my program crash? What happened to my wizardly little hocus focus here? What's going on? Yeah, it's on. Let's see if I can spawn another. Let's just open Word. And let me see what it does. See if we'll just go blank document. Okay, yeah, it's there. So where, pray tell? Okay. It just disappeared for some reason when I did the color contrast. Okay, so I turn it off. Okay. I don't know. Like I said, I'm learning as we're going myself, but I wanted to demonstrate. So like I said, it works good. It can work in Notepad. It should work in WordPad, I would assume. Yep, we're good in WordPad. We're good in Office, so we can do, actually, let's go into Excel just to see if it puts it in when I'm editing a cell. So let's go into a blank workbook. Well, actually, yeah, it does. So you get the highlight, and it honors my, okay, so it's honoring my blue that I chose. And if I wanted to, like I said, I could go back to, where did okay, I have too many things open here. Hang on. Close Word. And let's change it to the dashes, so just to prove that it works. And okay, so it's not dashes, but it's basically combining, I think, the highlight of the solid highlight that Excel normally has, and then it's putting in the color. So let's see if this actually changes or if it's all has to do with the cursor itself. So we're going to experiment here. I'm going to change this to like a red, let's say. How's about... yeah, we'll do this bright, kind of a orangish, reddish. Okay, yeah, okay. So that's what it's doing. It's combining the general Excel box with your cursor. So yeah, it works there. So we're going to close Excel. No, I don't care. It doesn't work everywhere. Let's give Edge a shot, because Internet Explorer is kind of dying. So it's not really doesn't seem to be working in Edge. Whoa, what the heck? Okay, I'm clicking in the edit box. Let's just go to, how about google.com. Okay, so we got a highlight there, although it looks really weird, but it does stand out. Let's go to, how about Amazon. I just want to see what it does on a different website here. So it is giving us, oh, weird, that is really bizarre. It's got this weird, like, it's almost like a weird, it starts out really thick, and then it goes thin, and then it just disappears when I move the mouse for some reason. So it's not perfect. But this program is being updated all the time, so I've been told. And there may be some other interesting things happening, but I'm not going to say any more. So we'll leave it at that. So it doesn't... I was hoping, since Edge was a Microsoft thing, I was hoping that might work. Let me go into Internet Explorer. The old school... Okay, so old school browser seems to work there. Again, let's go to Amazon. And we'll click in our searchy search field. Yep, so it works in there. I guess we got to do a little bit of work in Edge. And what I also found is I did play with this last night a little bit. If I go to Chrome and google.com, click in here, nothing really happens. Let's go to Amazon again for consistency's sake. And we're going to search. It doesn't do that. But now, interestingly, here's what I found. Let me go to AppleViz. And if I turn magnifier off, if I click, okay, it's not doing it now. But what I was noticing a couple of times, it happened to me at work and it happened to me at home, was that while I have HocusFocus on, I would just get this weird random square that I couldn't really seem to get to go away when I was in Chrome. So like if I was just viewing the page, I would have this square that was just sort of like right in here. It was really thick. Oh, okay, actually we do have a square. It's just really thin because I turned the borders down. You see that little square? We got a little thing right there. So like I said, I think it's really going to be useful. This feature is going to be really useful if you're working in, especially for word processing. Maybe not so much on the web just yet. I don't think I have... Well, I know I don't have Outlook configured. I mean, that uses the word engine, so that should theoretically work fine. I don't know if I have... I don't even know if I have Mail in Windows 10 configured, so I don't know if I can test that. But those types of things, it might work okay. But when you start getting into some of your web browsers, at least for now, and some of your third-party stuff. It might not work as well. But I wanted to bring this app to your attention because, again, it is free. And as people are really, as all these other products are starting to become really quite good, your Windows magnifier, your NVDA, your narrator, you may not always have to have ZoomText. And even if you are a ZoomText user, maybe you're not using your computer. You're going to see a family member. Maybe you're going to go home for the week because it's Christmas vacation, and you want to get a little work on your paper that you got to do, or you're using a computer in the library. I mean, granted, now this one I don't think it has to be installed, so I don't think you can just run it, off of a thumb drive or anything like that. So it's not quite that portable. But so you would still have to have admin rights to install it. To whatever machine. But, if it is a machine that you're going to use and you don't want to go all out for something like ZoomText or ZoomText Fusion or something like that, this is a nice little thing that can give you just that little bit of extra focus on your cursor. Now, we do have a couple of other options I forgot to mention as we were really exploring here. Okay, yeah. So line under text. I guess I could turn it on just so you can see that. I mean, I typically wouldn't want it, but oh God, especially that thick. Holy crap. Okay, actually, that wouldn't be very useful, I don't think, in Word a lot of times. But let me try something. I wonder if this would actually be really nice in Excel. Let me go into Excel again. Because if you're somebody who has, especially if you're using magnifier and you're panning left and right all the time, yeah, you could use standard panning, your Alt-Control left and right arrow if you're using magnifier. But if I were to, let's say I'm just going to start here, Monday, Tuesday, I just wanted to see, okay, so it doesn't seem to necessarily go as far as Excel. I was thinking that might be a cool way if it did support that, because a lot of times when you're working in a spreadsheet, you need to really be accurate. You need to really be going across and make sure that you're reading the right price or the right item number or the whatever information that it is you're trying to accurately follow across. So you're going do. But it's easy to kind of accidentally go down a line or up a line, especially if you have, hundreds of rows and columns of information. So, all right, I was just testing that. I was kind of curious to see if that would in fact work, but alas, it doesn't seem to in Excel. So I'm going to disable that, but again, over here you can change your color, your thickness. So if you just want a little bit of a line, you could do that. And there may be cases where you would want to do that. But your final couple of options down on the bottom here, we have Start App Minimized. Yeah, so if you got things the way you like it, and you just don't want to have this splash up every time and, be in the way. Once you start the program, of course, it'll just be down there in your taskbar. Now, this is kind of interesting. So if you don't necessarily want a full screen reader, but there are times where you want something to talk, speak where keyboard focus is. So I'm going to check that. Now, let's do a Shift tab.
Start App Minimized. Speak where keyboard focus is.
Tab. I'm going to tab again.
Close. Highlight keyboard focus.
Now, it doesn't say checked or unchecked because it's not necessarily meant to be a full screen reader. But if I go to the Windows...
Search box. Recently added. Ear hockey. Herbi HocusFocus. Microsoft Teams.
So you see the highlight, you see You hear the speech. Now I'm gonna
expand the hashtag 3D viewer.
Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go
box.
into Notepad again.
Text editor.
And I'm gonna type something. Today is Thursday. Now if I up and down arrow, nope. Okay, so it only really seems to be in dialog boxes and menus. So again, I'm just kind of showing you some of, like I said, it's not meant to be a full screen reader. But again, if you're sifting through a whole bunch of options, there are times where maybe, you do want to have some of those spoken aloud. I'm not sure about like web pages. I guess I could go to IE again.
Search.
And I could go, let's go to
address
Indeed.
And search using Bing.
Because I know that should have some. I'm trying to remember how this works. Okay, so let's say
job title, keywords, city, state, or zip code. Find jobs, company reviews, find salaries.
So as I'm tabbing,
find
it is
resumes,
actually doing
employers
that.
/post job.
You will have to do some experimentation, to
Task
see
bar.
Does it work on certain websites? Does it work in your browser of choice? I mean, we could piddle with this, for even longer if I wanted to. But this is really meant to be more of a overview video for this program.
What do you want the computer task
no,
bar?
I do not want you to do anything.
Text editor.
I want to be
Save.
on that text editor.
Highlight
I want
keyboard
to close
focus.
you. And I also want to turn.
Speak where keyboard focus is.
And I'm going to turn that off. So this is Herbi HocusFocus. It is a free app. You can download it from the Windows Store, and I will try to remember to put the link to the downloadable version if you are running an older version of Windows, either 7 or 8, or if you are like me at work where they have blocked the store from running on your work machine, so you can't grab the store version. And I think the main advantage that they said was that the store one, it kind of can keep automatically updating, whereas you're going to have to keep checking for manual updates in the downloadable version. So if I go into the store, Herbi, wait, why are you, okay, why didn't you do that? Herbi, there it is, Herbi HocusFocus. And there we go. So there it is in the store. And yeah, so hopefully that is helpful. Another little assistive technology demo for you guys. Hope you guys found it helpful. Follow me on Twitter at BGFH79. Keep the likes and subscribes coming. You can also follow me on Mixer, mixer.com/BGFH. And until next time, I'll talk to you guys again later.